And with the SimSwitch ass kicker, you don't want to go off track, believe me.
Yeah?
Yeah, I try to hit the curb, so.
The reason we are able to enjoy close racing from home is dreams and passion, and for some people the sky is the limit. This is one of the best experiences I ever had on motion platform, and I want to share the story of the developer with you.
Hi everybody, my name is Christian. I am the founder and CEO of Get Closer Racing, and first of all, Get Closer Racing is called Get Closer Racing because we want to get closer to real racing. And my mom always said no racing, and I was not allowed to be a race driver, and we didn't have the money that I could be a race driver. So I was always looking for something like slot car racing. I drove RC cars, Tamiya, and everything. And then 20 years ago, I built my first little simulator with a Beamer and with a Logitech wheel, and then the passion starts. And now I didn't found the things which are very close. And Get Closer developed the SimSwitch simulator and SimSwitch pedals. For me, it was a game changer. After triple screen, triple beamers, when I first had the VR on my head, it was so immersive to sit in the car. I loved it. Plus a good motion. The only thing I was missing, the right seating position, was always struggling to get the right seating position. And I love driving Mazda. I like to drive a classic Formula car in iRacing. The Lotus I love. And I love the modern LMP. So the seating position is always the point I didn't get right. So beside of grabbing the wheel at the right position to be immersive, the right distance, so we developed the SimSwitch. The SimSwitch concept you see now, this is the seating position for LMP and modern Formula cars. So the butt is very low and your heel and toe is very up, and we can switch. We can switch and go down, and you can see stepless in seconds. And if we have the same level with the butt and your heel, this is the classic Formula position, and everything moves with you. And the important thing is your butt, the center of gravity is always at the same place. The seat doesn't move in the high because we developed an own motion concept with 4 actuators, a surge and a traction loss. And it's so important that the center of gravity stays. So with the whole movement we are doing, the seat never has a different height, and you see everything moves. And then we can go with the pedal closer, and this angle from the seat we can also switch. So you have the exact position on a millimeter exact to get the best immersive feeling in the race car driving VR. And another thing is the SimSwitch pedals. I can show you. So these are hydraulic clutch and pedal, and everything is also switchable without any tools. You can adjust any kind of angle and also the distance between, because in my old Formula V they are very close and I can switch it. I can snap off, I can get the clutch out and drive a modern car and have the clutch at the wheel. And we have the brake pressure from 40 kilos stepless. You can get it up to 200 kilos. And the very special thing, I show you something. So the whole braking pressure goes into a right underneath. There is a braking caliper. I didn't have this word in English, I have to read it up. It's a brake caliper. So it's the real feel. So we don't emulate anything. So we try to get the right feeling. So if you press our brake, it feels right. And with the data, we don't have a load cell. So we have a potentiometer and a pressure sensor. And we're putting both data together to have the cleanest data for the simulation. So that's the whole concept. I can show you also the prototype if you want. And here's the prototype, and you can see here on the sledge how everything moves. And every angle, without tools, you can switch everything. That's why we call it SimSwitch. Yeah, getting in is also getting closer. So stepping into a race car, it's always kind of difficult. And you see now, we adjust it, and it comes closer, Get Closer Racing. So now we find the correct angle. And if we 3D scan the real race car, then we have the exact angle. And if you put this data in our software, you're always very sure to sit very correct like in the race car. And now this is modern race car like F1 or LMP cars. And I guess it's more comfortable if we go a little bit further with the pedals. We can choose this angle and you have the correct wheel for LMP or modern Formula. And very important was that there's no flex inside the system, that your butt is always at the right position for the movement, center of gravity. And now with VR, you look at your avatar and you move your foot on the gas and then it feels right. And then you're one with the simulation. The most immersive thing, and that was my goal. And that's why I always tell at home, I come late home because I have to work, but I sit in the simulator and drive iRacing. And now we go down and you can check out my Formula V, then your butt and the heel plate is on one level. Same thing in the Lotus 79. So like this, and we get this a little bit more here, and we go a little bit more like this. And now it's classic Formula. And then we go down after your Lotus race. You want to go a little Mazda Cup or drive in a Porsche, then your heel has to be there and seat, and you get the right wheel. And now you're ready for GT, for touring car. Perfect position, stepless in seconds. Yeah, it's all about the immersion and feel it right. And
Absolute awesome.
thank you. I turned 54 a couple of days, so I'm a sim racing pioneer. So if you do this hobby for 20 years, I saw a lot of development and I have a little piece of sim racing history in my hand. This is about 15 years old and that was the beginning of Get Closer. We were looking for the real deal and there was not the real deal, only plastic wheels and the big companies on the market now who are doing direct drives now and very good wheels with carbon and everything, they were not on the market. And we were looking for something like this. And Mark Ricci, the organizer of the Expo and the father of the Expo a little bit, now working at the ADAC, he was a Formula Pro race driver and he said we need real rims and more feedback. And then we took Logitech G25 and a very good constructor close to Dortmund, to my hometown from Iserlohn, Jean-Luc. He built this G25. It was so expensive and I didn't have jam on my bread for half a year and no cold beer in the fridge, but I bought this build. It took almost a year for him to build, and this was for us, it was Get Closer Racing in this time. And there was a time, first pedals with load cell, Leo Bottner, and first triple screens. And yeah, there was the start of sim racing back in the days. And this is kind of a piece of sim racing history. So.
Then I had jam on my bread and cold beer in my fridge. How familiar that feels for most of us. I'm sure you found yourself in this situation, chasing some crazy dream.